Hello, everyone. As I promised on my live show, that this live show I will be sharing something really important, and that's why I'm here today. So, I hope all of you are doing great. You had a great holiday, 2 days holiday. Okay. So, today I'm going to cover the topic on safety and security, which is most critical part in any event you do and which cannot be missed. So, I have Sharad with me today on show.
Hi everyone. So finally I joined this show with Anjali to talk about the most important point of any event, which is safety and security. So let me talk about starting with what it is. I'll directly get into the point. Now, there are two areas wherein you do an event. One is a closed door venue and one is an open venue. So closed door venue, it's more of easy, wherein the layout is proper, you have everything inside. But then too, there are a few things which you need to check even if you are using a closed venue. Now we will be focusing more on a venue which is open, wherein you need to construct the event venues for you. All right. So without ado, I'll start off. So do you know what is the most important thing? The first thing which you need to start with? It is the layout planning. The layout is the most important, integral important when you start constructing your event. Okay, now in that, with respect to safety and security, there are 3 points which you need to make sure. One is the entry point, one is the exit point, and emergency exits. What is the difference between an exit and an emergency exit? Their exits are the normal exits which you use. Yes, that can also be emergency exits. But yes, there are critical parts wherein you can open up as exits, open up as exits, as emergency exits. Then second thing is, in the layout, you need to have a proper assembly area, safety area, where in case of anything, people have to assembly and you need to inform people about that. Next part is very critical in an open venue, wherein how the pathway for the fire and ambulance is planned. It is very critical because usually when something happens, people go all over the place and there is no place for the fire engine or the ambulance to come in. And next part is the materials used. What is the quality of the material used? Say, for example, you are using this to make a structure. Whether that material used to make that structure is fire retardant, whether it can pass fire tests, whether you can try lighting it up and see whether it doesn't catch fire, right?
Yeah, so I do remember we did this test for our government of Maharashtra client. So we were constructing the big domes where a lot of floors were used. So what we did each and every fire test for that, and wherever we felt there is a little bit of defect, we changed the entire structure of that cloth. So this is very important thing which you can actually do to test whether the cloth what you are using is it fireproof or not. But yes, don't ignore this. These are very important things you need to use or do in your event. Does not matter whether it's a big event or a medium level event or a small event. Safety and security is needed in each and every area.
Perfect. Now, one thing which we usually don't take care or is the placement of production equipments. Things, the boxes wherein the production equipments come in. So we usually place on the sides, we cover it with some black clothes, and that actually, when something happens and people run over it, people fall, and it creates a mess. You need to make sure that things are properly placed in. If bigger things are there, they need to be kept in the vehicle itself. So that's very important. And line of wires here and there. In India, if you have been to events, you know that I'm talking about indoor events, you see wires lying here and there. That's a very big concern. You need to cover it up. You need to use jumpers. The length of the wires should be long enough to make sure that it is adjacent to the wall and not in between the passages wherein people are crossing. Now coming to the open area of the venue. Now the structure has to be certified by a structural engineer. That is very, very, very important. So we or anyone who is conducting an event are not expert whether that structure can hold weight, if something goes wrong, if it will tilt or not. But a structural engineer has to be there who will see, check whether the poles are properly placed, whether it is properly grounded, whether the bolts, nuts are properly placed. They will check that, and you need to have a certification. And also, yes, this will also help, the certificates also help you claim the insurance because you have taken all the precautions which is possibly possible.
Right. So did have in our recent event, we did had a structural engineer who came in and who was there. I mean, their team was there for almost 2 days of the event, and they checked each and every area. If all the structures are properly maintained and properly constructed or not, and they submitted us the report after 2 days wherever there was the defect and which needs to get rectified. So they submitted us the report, and which we got it rectified from the event management company. So these are the things which is important, and there are experts available whom you can leverage for your for your event, and you can go ahead and take their services and make sure that the entire place is secure.
Right. So now we as event consultants make sure that there is, from our team, there is a safety and security consultant who checks the entire venue along with the safety and security people. Now, coming to the next point is open wires. The most critical part is that now, if you have read issues or fire happened in any of the event, that would have caused, maximum of that would have caused because of short circuit. That is because the wire which is used, they need length of wires to connect the light, fans, electricity, all of that. But the wire has to be clean. It should not have joints. If that has joints, it has to be concealed properly. And a person, a proper electrically certified person, has to check that. And it has to be concealed with plastic. But here, unfortunately, with the cost cutting and with the attitude, we don't see that in that detail. But this is very, very, very critical. And adjacent to the structure, we place the junction box where the electricity from the electricity generating point is placed and it is distributed. This distance has to be such a way that when some short circuit happens, the first point is the junction box, the fuse burns off. The spark should not come to the structure. It should be placed in a safe distance. All right?
Correct. So basically what you can do is you can make note of all these points what we are sharing. Another important thing what I would like to share, whether you do events in hotels or whether you do the events at the open area where you're constructing the entire venue, what you can do is you need to check the expiry date of fire extinguisher.
Absolutely.
So you will have the fire extinguisher in the hotel venue if you're doing. Go ahead and check what is the expiry date. If you're doing the event at the open venue where the fire extinguisher has been bought from outside, do check the expiry date. And if the expiry date is over, please make sure that you tell that specific person to change that immediately. So this is again important. If you place something which is already expired, that will not help you in the unforeseen situation. So make sure you make note of this, as this is a very important and very simple point which you by yourself can check and do it.
Absolutely. That reminded me of the event which we conducted. Few of the extinguishers which were brought in were expired. Yeah. Not only the expiration, but there are few things, knobs, small, parts in that extinguisher. If that is not there, then also that has to be changed, replaced. So that's very important. And also the practice session has to be done. which I believe Anjali would be talking about what need to be done.
Yeah, right. So the mock drill is very important. So before I go ahead with the mock drill, I would like to cover one point. As Sharat said, assembly area. So when you're planning the layout of the event, so it's very important that you give importance to the assembly area and make sure that assembly area is shown with the direction books, so that each and every person or the audience who is attending the event know where to run in any situation. Okay, so basically you need to be ready with everything. It's not that something will happen, but of course nothing should happen, but you need to be ready with each and everything. So make sure that your assembly area is placed strategically with the help of the expert, and through direction board you have marked the entire assembly area, which we make sure that we do in every event for our client. Then mock drill. Mock drill is very important and it should be taken seriously. So, with the help of expert, you can conduct the mock drill where the organizer of the event and the people and the stakeholders who are related to the events, everyone can be involved over there. And what they can do is they can learn where they need to run, how the alarm will sound. You also need to get familiarized with the sound of the alarm. So as soon as the fire alarm is been, you hear how you need to run, where you need to run. In case if anything happens other than fire, if something else happen, how security person needs to carry the particular person from one place to the till the ambulance area or till your medical points are there. Right. So see, we do have. I have seen in events we do have ambulance facility. We do have the medical area set up. But do we really have a trained security person? Do they really know how, if person is injured, how they need to carry? There is a way they need to carry person. So this all things you can learn if you have the expert, if you appoint them and you do the mock drill in a serious way. So what we did in our event, like we planned almost 2.5 days mock drill, where from it was for the PWD department. So from the chief engineer to each and every one was involved in the mock drill, and each and everyone learned about it. So we were prepared because we had a lot of guests and high-end guests coming in who had a lot of strict protocols. So it was our responsibility that nothing should happen over there. So we made sure that entire protocol has been taken care. The mock is planned in such a way, the fire as well as other things happen, how it needs to be placed. Each and every security person is trained, and how they need to run if someone is injured, how they need to carry the person. So these are the important points what you can implement while doing events, before the events.
Absolutely. Even to add to that, now we also trained, we also got in the fire people from the fire department to train us. They helped us how to use A, B, C. There are categories of fire extinguishers.
Correct.
How to use that and when to use that. That is also very important. You cannot use a B kind of fire extinguisher to A kind of fire.
Right.
That is also something which, as organizers, as a client, we should know how to carry people. And it was so informative that even if a person is injured, his leg is gone, if his back is gone, how to carry that person effortlessly with two people. Usually, not necessarily you get the structure, all the support materials. But yes, if you have two people or three people can carry injured people easily to the safety point.
Right.
Now, now coming to that, we are talking about fire. I would like to cover one more point, which is very important, which is the dining area. Dining area is a place of fire where without fire, food cannot be prepared, right? Now, the placement of the gas cylinder has to be far away from the actual kitchen, and that is the actual rule. So we need to make sure that that is far away. So even if in case of any fire, the cylinder won't explode. You can cut off the supply then and there.
Right.
So that has to be planned properly. Now, yes, and again in the dining area, accessibility of extinguishers has to be properly placed. When a fire happens, the person who's the cook or the security person, whomsoever is there, the fire extinguisher should be easily accessible. Now, the next point is, once you do everything from your end, You need to get an expert to certify that. You might miss something because you are not an expert in that. An expert should come from the fire department and he should inspect each and every part, whether it be dining area, whether it be the structures, electrical points, everything he or she should check and give the certification, and that is very, very, very important.
Absolutely.
And now the next part, as Anjali has already told, the training of guards. Usually, what happens is we get guards from a security area agency, and as nothing usually happens, they are there to check whether people are coming in, going out, all of that. But training of them is the most important. Giving them the confidence of an authority is very important, that they are responsible for the safety and security of the event. Treat them little better. I'm strictly talking to the organizers. Treat them little better and give them authority and give us right instructions who will be doing what in case of anything. If they are placed in front of the main entrance, what are their job responsibilities? They should not feel that my job is just to scan the person and let the person in. They should know if a person misbehaves, what to be done. If a person falls ill, what to be done. He should know where all the medical points, where is the emergency fire kit has been, safety kit has been placed. Everything he should know. Each and every safety and security guard. And next is where to place the scanners. Whether it is a hindrance to the safety, security when something happens, this all has to be planned properly. So from my end, if I may summarize, layout, it starts with layout, which is the entry point, the exit point, and emergency exit points. Then you need to have a safety assembly point. Structures has to be verified by the structural engineer. Wire has to be checked. Laying of the wires, a jumper or a cover has to be placed on the wires properly so that people don't fall just because of that. So all of that has to be properly placed, and a special person has to be there who inspect and certifies everything.
Right. And if I need to summarize, it's of course layout is most important. Make sure where the assembly area you are planning, make sure that you plan it strategically with the help of expert. Direction boards are properly placed where people are going to pass away and they know the assembly area is here. After that, do the mock drills, do it multiple times with the organizers and the people who are involved in the event with the help of the experts, so that everyone knows what to do in unforeseen situation. And train the security person. Even though you hired it from security agency, according to our experiences, they were not trained enough, and we really need to invest the time to train them. And if you need your event to be secured completely, you need to do that. Okay. So I chose this topic about safety and security on events because I feel it's important. We should not wait till the time it happens. Each and every event which happens should be smooth, should be safe, should be secured, right? So that's the reason I thought let us give you some inputs on this. Do make note of this. I'm sure this will help you. And do share this video with the people and the companies who keep on doing events, because they might get some important inputs from this.
Right, absolutely.
So yeah, so I will come up with again some important topics on my next live show, and I do encourage you to please go ahead and ask me questions, any queries you have with regards to safety, security, or any other things related to events. Anything you want, please go ahead and ask. Don't hesitate. And you can also email it to us. You can also write to us about any queries you have. Okay.
Perfect. So we will just summarize. So we are Divine Aerial International, DACI, India's foremost event consulting company, and we guarantee results through events, the results which you want. So connect to us to make your events result oriented. So thank you so much. See you soon. See you in our next video.
Thank you, guys.